Hello and welcome to the video tutorials for digital training at educationalpath.com. If you haven't signed for this course yet, please do so at this web address. If you have, then you know that I'm Alvaro, the course coordinator, and this is a video on some of your frequently asked questions, this one, English levels. So, what are the English levels? Often I will be telling you, okay, you have these students and this is the level I think. Now there are many ways to check the levels. If you search with my favorite search engine, ecosia.org, the one that plants trees every time you search, well not every time, but only when you click on others anyway, and then you choose click, say for example, language proficiency from Wikipedia, then obviously you will have a lot about how to gauge this. There are many different institutions that organize that. The one I like the most, and the one I think is more used, especially here in Europe, obviously, is the Common European Framework of Reference. This one is pretty much this one is quite used, yeah. So it was more used in the past, yeah, but now is the other one, and it's pretty much the levels in English. I use this one as well. So basically, it's just to say beginner instead of novice. I would call it more beginner. Then I'll say intermediate. Then I'll say advanced. And then for each of these, you can say low beginner. For beginners, we'll say complete beginners, because the difference, or intermediate beginners, or advanced beginners, or pre-intermediate or lower intermediate, or just intermediate, or upper intermediate, or high intermediate, and then the same for advanced. I like these ones. If you click here, you will see why. Because pretty much this is like 6 levels. Yeah. If you haven't done anything, then just complete beginner. So that's A0. That's it. I mean, you're just complete beginner 0. Now, when many students tell us that they're beginners, some of them they already know a few words, and that's a big difference between a 0, like complete beginner, someone who has never, like say for example, if you cannot recognize a single word in Japanese, then you're a complete beginner in Japanese. But in Spanish, for example, you might call yourselves beginners if you want, because you're modest, but you're probably not beginners. You might have heard hola, adios, hasta la vista from Schwarzenegger, and that means that you're not a complete beginner. So you're probably, a low beginner maybe, but not a complete beginner. Anyway, these are the grade descriptors here. So A1, someone has reached this level that is from 0 to passing a test or something that qualifies you for that, is someone that can do all of this. Yeah, so please do read these descriptions, because they can tell you a little bit. Now, obviously, this is just a description. It's not an exam. Those of you who are helping students to prepare for exams, then this is very important for you. How can you tell more about these levels? Even if you're not preparing for an exam for some of your students, as a TEFL teacher, I strongly recommend you to search about exams. Use the exam resources I put in the other video, and it's on this document, and then don't you just search for it. Do them as if you were a student. Obviously, if English is your mother tongue, this exam should be pretty easy, but especially if you're doing some like intermediate or never mind advanced levels. So if you're preparing someone for the B2, which is the most common level that students take exams for, you will see that it's not easy. It's intermediate, but it's, I would say upper intermediate for this one is the equivalent in the other way of calling this, but it's not easy. So do these exams, and then exactly, you will get to know what all of this means. Yeah, because obviously between say this one and the C1 level, you will see that in the language is very subtle differences. So recognize implicit meaning, this sort of thing. So it's only a description. In the exams, you get to know more about what these are. Yeah? So please do take the exams. And then, some students we don't know the levels. You, by teaching them on a day-to-day basis, you will get to see the levels, and then hopefully the levels will change. They will improve while they're with you. They might not reach while they're with you. They won't really change from, say, B1 to B2, but certainly within B2, they can get better and better in their English. And ideally, if you can measure the level somehow, not just with exams, but with evidence that, with the words that they're learning, with the questions that you're asking, with the fluency. This, if you get to do the course on coaching, is not part of this TEFL course, but if you get to do I put some resources, but if you, after this course, you want to continue your training with us and you do the coaching, then this is something that we do in depth, because it's very, very important to measure the progress on someone as you are helping that person advance, because that way they will get to know that feeling, and it's kind of like a reward for the effort that they're making. Yeah? If you're learning a language yourself, and you should be learning at least one other language if you're teaching languages, then you will see that it's very, very important for you as well. Okay, and do use, if you're learning Spanish, then try to see in which level you will be in Spanish. Do take Spanish tests. Search Spanish tests, and you will see many ways to check your Spanish level. And then you just do them, and then you will see how good or bad you are with it. Obviously, if you have a teacher, then ask your teacher for help, and then ask your teacher to test. These levels are not just for English. These levels are for any language. Spanish, German, whatever. Language can be assessed and split into these levels. Obviously, some languages are very different, especially in the written form. If you were learning Japanese, depending on whether you can write also in hiragana or katakana, then your written skills will be different, and you can also empathize with people from, say, Japan that are learning English, and the writing might be a bit rusty because it's difficult for them. Although they also write in using the characters that we use in English, when they are writing in Japanese as well. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you around.